is just really an opportunity for if people want to go to the HCGOP YouTube page and say, who's my school board representative? I want to learn a little bit about them. They can do that and just find out a little bit more about you. And I'll just ask you a few questions and let you talk away if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, the first one is please introduce yourself to the voters of Hamilton County, your name, your elected position, and how long you've been serving in this capacity.
Well, Joe Smith, Joesmith, and I promise that's not fictitious. That really is my name. Uh, been in lived in this community all my life, except for what little bit of time I was at school. But this is home. Always has been. Always will be. Was originally appointed to the school board, and it was actually to complete an unexpired term of at that time Commissioner Greg Martin.
Okay.
So that was in 2016. So I completed that 2 year appointed term, and then I have run ran whatever the proper adjective is there twice and been reelected twice. So I'm now in my third year of my second elected term. So uh, to date, I have served 9 years, just starting the 10th year. And it's District 3, which includes Middle Valley, Lakeside, Big Ridge, and of course Hickson.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit about your family and what inspired you to run for office?
Well, married to Miss America. We just celebrated 50 years. Uh,
Wow.
some people know her as Paula. Most people don't even know she has a name because I've always called her Miss America. But we've been married 50 years. We have two children of our own, biological children, Andy and Abby, who, of course, grown now, families of their own. We've raised 19. I always say foster kids, although some of them were in foster care. We just took them in. So there's been 19 of them.
Wow.
And that's why I have all this white hair. And uh, so, my whole life I've been working with kids and families for almost 40 years. So it's just where my heart's at, and it's just what God told me to do and prepared me to do. And so several years ago, when that seat came open on the school board, then I thought, what a better way to be involved in decisions that are made that affect our young people's education. So that's why I got involved and why I'm still involved, and so there you have it.
Awesome, wonderful. Well, do you and you may not know this, some people have and some people haven't, but do you know approximately how many people you represent? And can you talk a little bit about the essential duties of your office, the things that you are required to do as a school board representative?
Well, in District 3, and please don't hold me to this number, but I'll be close. All of our schools up here in the district, we have a total of about 6,500 students.
Okay.
With all of our, all the schools that are in the district. And I tell you, I be honest, I'm not sure what that represents in terms of families and rooftops. I know that I'm seeing more and more and more and more and more rooftops. That's concerning to me, especially apartments. There's construction going on everywhere. That's a little scary, but a whole nother story. But primarily, the school board, we have one employee that we supervise, and of course, that employee's some people refer to him as a director of schools, which is what he is. Some people refer to him as a superintendent. and he's our one employee. So our primary job is to supervise, encourage, hold him accountable. Uh, and then we're also responsible for making and approving policy throughout the district. So that's a big part of our job. And then finally, and uh, equally important is we're responsible for crafting and approving the annual school budget.
Yeah.
So primarily, that's our job. We're not responsible for the day-to-day operation of schools. We don't supervise teachers or principals or tell them what to do. That's not our job. We're responsible for the superintendent, and then of course being an advocate for our schools. You know, I love my schools, and I want to always see our schools get the first choice, but it don't always work that way. We got 45,000 young people in Hamilton County, and so as long as there's breath in me, I'm gonna fight for every one of them.
Well, that is a I like the way you kind of explained those three parts, you know, supervising the superintendent,
Yep,
crafting policy, and creating the budget.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, so the next question kind of goes in line with that, which is what does a typical work week look like for you? And I know it's different for everybody, but I thought maybe you could just talk a little bit about what it looks like for you.
You do you mean in terms of my responsibility as a board member, or do you mean the life and times of Joe Smith? What are you talking about?
Well, maybe a little bit of both. I was hoping you could just talk about as a school board member, what does on a weekly basis, what does that look like for you?
Well, I, we you'll like this. We get paid to be a school board member. It's $10,000 a year is what we're compensated. And I did the math one time and figured out the amount of time that I spend doing school board business versus what I get paid. And I realized I was making about 15 cents an hour.
Oh gosh.
A school board member, of course, is a part time job. Uh, I try to visit my schools often. I'm not that school board member that hangs out in my schools. That's not my job to oversee what these principals and teachers are doing. Although I often make visits to the school, try to remain visible, be accessible, uh, to always advocate for whatever my schools may need, to assist, to volunteer, to help my schools in any way I can. But it's not just my schools. Again, I'm involved in a lot of other schools as well. But I um, I had a 25-year career at the YMCA working with young people, and I tried to retire, and that worked about a year and a half, and I just didn't do retirement very well. And then, so now I work for Transform Ministries. Formerly, it was called Prison Prevention Ministries. It's been around for 45 years now. And I run a program called End Zone. And End Zone is a program that works with at risk kids and families. Kids are struggling academically, behaviorally, family problems, those kinds of things. And we provide tutorial services, mentoring, individual family counseling, a lot of adventure based recreation. I have an amateur boxing program. I coach boxing.
Cool.
Uh, and then I spend a lot of time in jail. Now, luckily, they let me go home every day. I mentor some prisoners and are helping them uh, prepared for their reentry. So helping them find a job, get their driver's license back, place to live, walking alongside them so they don't reoffend and end up back incarcerated. So I say all that to say a normal day begins about 5 in the morning and it'll end when I just pass out on the floor at about dark every night. So that's a typical day.
Sounds like you have your hands in a little bit of everything.
Stay pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us of all those things you just talked about, what's your favorite? What do you love most about being a school board member?
Well, of course, my first love is young people, and because what I've done all my life, and I was one of those kids that struggled as a young person, came from a broken family and poverty, and so that's where my heart's at. So my most favorite thing is when some young person finally the light comes on and they begin to understand truth and they begin to embrace maybe some of the things that we're trying to pour into them and then watching their life begin to change and so that's the payday right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's end with this. First of all, when are you up for reelection? And secondly, are you up for reelection? And secondly, what do you want Republican voters in Hamilton County to know about you?
uh, I'm going to answer you that question, but at the same time I'm going to ask you uh, to not release this answer because I want the opportunity to release the answer myself.
Well, how about this? Instead of, what if you just say when you would be up for reelection?
I'm in my last year of this second 4 year term, so it will be next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if you were going to run for office, what would you want Republican voters to know about you in Hamilton County? Or maybe what would you like them to know about you for the last year that you're serving?
My record speaks for itself. I mean, people up here in Hickson, where I've spent my whole life, they know my work on the school board. They know my ministries. They know who I am and what I've done. And I'm 72 years old. I'm too old to change any of that now. Whatever I do, I'm going to finish strong, and I'm going to continue to do what God has ordained me and equipped me and told me to do. Whether that's remain on the school board or continue with my ministries or just continue being married to Miss America, whatever that is.
Well, and I'm sorry I didn't say this at the very beginning, but as the Hamilton County Republican Party chairwoman, I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to thank you for what you do for our county and your community and all of the kids. I know that running for office is no small task, and you sacrifice a lot, and we really appreciate that. And I'm so grateful for your time, and grateful that you've given us an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better.
Well, appreciate your call and thank you for what you're doing. You don't have an easy job either. So
I don't. I agree. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do it fairly, and I'm trying to make sure that everybody has, the same opportunity to get themselves out there and get to know the community. So,
God has a way of putting tough people in tough places. So good for you.
well, thank you, Joe, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to connecting with you more and learning more about you.
Okay, if I can help in any way, just holler. God bless.
Okay, God bless. Bye.